नमस्कार मंडळी, मी महेश दाबोळकर तुमच्या सर्वांचं स्वागत करतो आपल्या चॅनलच्या सायकलिंगची प्रेरणा देणाऱ्या आणखीन एका नवीन व्हिडिओमध्ये। मंडळी, आज आपल्याबरोबर आहेत रेस अक्रॉस इंडियाचे फिनिशर महेश किनी सर। ते आपल्याला आज त्यांच्या सायकलिंगच्या एंटायर एक्सपिरियन्स विषयी सांगणार आहेत। त्यामुळे या व्हिडिओला जास्तीत जास्त लोकांपर्यंत पोहोचवण्यासाठी लाईक करा आणि तुमच्या सायकल प्रेमी मित्रांना शेअर करा। चला तर मग आजच्या व्हिडिओला सुरू करूया आणि भेटूया महेश किनी सरांना। Hello sir, welcome to our channel and firstly thank you so much for giving your time to our channel. So what do you tell about your cycling experience?
Thanks Mahesh. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to reach out to the masses about cycling. I'm happy to kind of inform my journey about cycling. I'm Mahesh Kini. I'm 49 years old. I work for ALD Automotive, a French MNC where we lease cars. I shifted to Maharashtra in 2013 to Mumbai, and I started running because I had taken up a corporate job and it was kind of mundane job and 9 to 5 job, so I needed to keep up my fitness. So I picked up running, and in 2018 this running group, we formed a small cycling because of maybe different exercises and others. We started cycling. So from then on, we formed a small group known as Ride Buddies, and we started cycling in and around Mumbai. So this kind of usually we started doing this in the weekends. So this kind of gave us liberating, and we came to know places where we couldn't even imagine going by our cars or our two-wheelers. So the cycle actually took us to all over inside Mumbai, which was very helpful for us to know the routes and other this one. So from then on, we started doing small trips in and around Mumbai. We have also done from Mumbai to Goa, from Cochin to Goa we did trips. This was in groups, and this was trips of, like, for example, Mumbai to Goa we did in 10 days. So each day we used to do around 120 kilometers, and we started slowly going up and kind of elevating our this one. We did from Cochin to Goa then. So this is how actually cycling came into my life. When we went on trips, I understood that I need to level up my cycling, and cycling was actually giving me that joy, and that's how I started doing brevets. This was brevets is from 200, 300, 400 and 600 kilometers in a stipulated time. Here you may have to strategize the race more than you are on self-supported. You have to strategize the race for this 200 kilometers, where you are going to have water breaks, what you will be doing, what you will be eating. So these kind of brevets, I was doing it in what the stipulated time, 70% of the stipulated time I was only consuming, and I could do it very fast. So that's how I thought, let me kind of level up my training in this. And then I registered for Ironman Goa in 2019, and there is where I bought this cycle road bike. This was my first road bike, and here is where I started leveling up my training to do Ironman Goa. For people who to understand Ironman, we have to swim for 1.9 kilometers in the sea, and then 90 kilometers of riding, and then 21 kilometers of running. This has to be done in this sequence in 8.5 hours to qualify. As I did my Ironman training, I could cycle more, and I started visiting places around Mumbai. I started doing all the Ghat sections like Kasara, Borghat, in and around Mumbai. It was so beautiful, Igatpuri. So all these places kind of my cycle took me to these places. So I was very happy that my weekends are being spent very kind of pleasant and very regenerating. So from here onwards, I started doing some races. For example, I took up Deccan Cliffhanger, where we have to ride from Pune to Goa. It is known to be the toughest single day race, because you have to ride from Pune to Goa via Mahabaleshwar. The time starts in Pune and ends in Goa. You have to do this in 32 hours. Team Kini, we did it in 30 hours. So this was in 2021. Then I started doing off Everesting. Off Everesting is you have to climb 4,448 meters. I did it in 9 hours. So such events I started doing, and I started leveling up my training. I started training regularly into cycling. Maybe running and swimming took a little backseat, but then I started liking my cycle, and since it is taking me to weekends, it was taking me to places maybe 100, 200 kilometers. Every cyclist dream is to do K2K. So that was even my dream. So that is how I spoke to my coach, Dr. Amit Samar, and I told him we should do K2K. K2K is Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So he was planning to organize a race. This was, I think, we spoke in 2021, and we had the race in 2023. So this is the kind of planning we had done for this race. Thanks to the organizing team, they conducted such a wonderful race across India. So as I spoke to Dr. Amit Samarth, and we started training for this race. I think I have trained for around 18 months for this race, because riding for 3,651 kilometers within 12 days to be a RAM qualifier is something you may have to kind of, your physical fitness should be at your peak. Your body, mind and your soul should be in sync, otherwise it is very difficult to do this race. A race across India is from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So your time starts in Kashmir and ends in Kanyakumari. Age category of 18 to 49, you have to ride to complete this in 12 days. You may have to ride every single day minimum of 310 kilometers. Riding 310 kilometers without any recovery is a kind of a little difficult for your physical and your mental. So ultra cycling is all about mental game. This is what I want to tell now after doing this race. After a few days, your body will just follow your mind. And we started in Kashmir, 26 riders. We started doing this race across India. So we were in solo category, we were in teams, and teams of 4, teams of 2, and differently abled category. I completed the race from 3,651 kilometers. I did it in 8 days, 19 hours and 59 minutes. I stood second in the race. First was my coach, in fact, Dr. Amit Samar, who completed this in 6 days, 23 hours and 49 minutes. My body doesn't adapt well to cold, so I was quite skeptical of how my body would adapt in Kashmir, because the temperature in Kashmir was 3 degrees, and when you start riding down towards the south, the temperature increases, and in Kanyakumari it was around 40 degrees. So your body should adapt to this 3 degrees to 40 degrees. This is what you may have to, and you cannot train for this for 3 degrees and 40 degrees, right? So you may have to use some tools like meditation, and kind of when it is very hot, you have to see how your team will support you to keep yourself cool. So these are the ones which you have to take. And the mindset is, I clearly had thought that I would be completing the race. The objective was to do it 12 days. However, we had also considered 2 more objectives. First objective was to complete in 12 days. The next objective was to do it in 10 days. And the very aggressive objective was to do it in 8 days. And lucky my team supported me very nicely. I could able to do it in 8 days and 19 hours and 59 minutes. To touch upon the training topic which you asked, I think I trained for this race for right from 18 months, and my training schedule initially had strength training, and we had intervals. We usually did 3 days of cycle riding, and remaining other 3 days were of strength training and CrossFit training, so that you actually train your body, you train all your muscles to endure that pain. Rode, I think, more than 16 to 17,000 kilometers in this 18 months. So the last 12 months, I think I rode around 13,000 kilometer plus, more than, I think, 650 hours is what I have taken.
Oh,
So this is
great.
the kind of training which has gone into for this race across India. See, ultra cycling is not very great career as such in India, though in Europe and other things it has picked up very nicely, and you can have a career in ultra cycling. But in India, it is in a very nasal stage, I would say. Maybe we may have to pursue another profession to feed the ultra cycling, because ultra cycling is not cheap, I'll tell you. It is very costly sport. Right from the shoes you wear till the helmet you wear is very costly. I would suggest you may have to take it stepwise. Initially, I would suggest you start doing cycling around maybe 4 days a week, and maybe weekends go out for long rides. Like long rides can go up to 100 kilometers or 120 kilometers. But please bear that whenever you ride, every hour you have water, hydrate yourself well, eat well, because you shouldn't starve and then ride to maybe lose weight or something. Because you're cycling, you shouldn't suddenly starve and get into something else than benefiting from cycling. So you always eat well and maybe hydrate every hour. So from then on, I think you should start doing brevets. We have brevets all over India. So maybe this 200, 300, 400 and 600 kilometers brevets, and then you become a super randonneur once you complete this series in one calendar year of brevets. So I think this would give you how to strategize. For example, 200 kilometers you have to complete in 13 hours. For 13 hours, you may have to, if I do the maths, you have to do it in 20 kilometers per hour. You may do 20 kilometers per hour easily in your 50 kilometers, but doing 200 kilometers for 20 is a challenge. So you may have to train yourself. So it may take you few attempts to do this, but I would suggest you do the brevets, and you hydrate. You have to have your hydration strategy. You have to have your food strategy. All this, it is a self-supported. So you may have to stop at regular intervals, and mind you that each body is different. So each body requires, you just cannot cut paste what other person is doing or what I am doing. So you have to understand what your body, what, how much you sweat, how much water you require, is what you have to understand from riding this brevet. So after you finish riding these brevets and you're quite confident that you can now you have that strategy of nutrition, and you are very good in your riding these brevets within the stipulated hours, then you can start doing races. We have Inspire India, we have Tiger Sportsman, who keep organizing these races all across. I think Inspire India does Deccan Cliffhanger. They do maybe Inspire India races, Great Himalayan. They do from Uti, Goa to Uti. So such races are there where you can participate. These races are actually the assessment for what you have done. You are trained your body and other things. So this will help you to kind of get into ultra cycling and do well in ultra cycling. So I would suggest you all, you have to take care of your health. Health is wealth. Finally, I would suggest cycling, swimming, running, or such cardio exercises will help you keep your health best. Thank you.
So friends, this was Mahesh Kini sir on our channel. तुम्हाला हा व्हिडिओ कसा वाटला ते मला नक्कीच या व्हिडिओच्या खाली कमेंट करून कळवा. आणि जर तुम्हाला काही प्रश्न विचारायचे असतील तरी देखील तुम्ही सरांना विचारू शकता कमेंट करून. सो लवकरच भेटूया नवीन व्हिडिओमध्ये. तोपर्यंत स्वतःची काळजी घ्या, स्वतःच्या परिवाराची काळजी घ्या, सायकल चालवत राहा आणि इतरांना सायकलिंगची प्रेरणा देत राहा. बाय बाय.